The morning is the most crucial time of your day. Right before you go to sleep and right before you wake up, as you're waking up, you're in something called a theta state. Now, basically, your brain is essentially operating on a certain level where it's very, very, very receptive to things. Right before you're falling asleep, 10, 15 minutes, and right after you wake up, 10, 15 minutes. Now, if you fill those 10, 15 minutes with messaging and just sort of things and stimuli that are either random or negative, that's what your output in life is going to be. It's going to be random and negative. Now, let me put it to you this way. Every single morning, I have a morning routine that I must absolutely 100% do, okay? It involves really two or three main things for the most part, right? Usually two, but sometimes I'll throw in a third. Now, there's meditation, there's gratitude, and there's some breathing exercises. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to do this. I understand there's lots of people out there saying, you're not going to live very long if you don't touch grass or don't shower and then pour ice over your head so it's so cold that you're freezing, whatever, right? A lot of people that say this, and frankly, I actually do agree with some of these things, but that's not what I'm saying in this video. The most important thing is that you have 1, 2, 3 things, whatever, in the morning that don't take you all that long, but they're essential for at least setting you in a good direction. Now, one of the most crucial things is once you determine what these 3 things are, again, I would recommend at least a gratitude journal and some meditation, right? If at very least you don't want to do any of that stuff, okay, then maybe just a quick meditation, okay? That one you can't get around. But this is something you always want to do before you allow the world to stimulate you. Okay, you want to be the first author of your own stimulation before you allow the world to stimulate you. Now, why? Because you might open your phone and you might scroll and you think it's just going to be another day, but there might be an email from your ex sitting there. Okay? And it might be telling you something that you really, really don't want to hear. Right? It might be an email from someone that you just don't want to see. It might be a text message with a picture of something that you don't want to see. Whatever. It could be a million things. It could be something that seems like it's an absolute emergency because someone else has determined that they need your time right now. It's not actually an emergency, but they're speaking to you in a way that stimulates you into anxiety and provokes you into turning your mind towards them. But even if you were to turn your mind towards them, you're not even in a good place to do so because you haven't taken care of your own mind first by doing the things in the morning that you need to get out of the way before you begin to engage with the outside world. So what is the point that I'm making here? What is the ultimate point that I'm making? Is really twofold. The first thing is it's so important to have something that you're able to introduce to yourself early in the morning in those theta states that can really set you up for success throughout the day. And a lot of the times that's something to do with a positivity thing or just a balancing kind of your mental state, your emotional state, your spiritual state. Okay. For me, that's meditation, that's gratitude, that's some breathing. These sorts of things are great. The second point is that the morning should be sacred to you because you will show up better in your own life and in everyone else's life if you take care of yourself every single day. Now, if you know somebody or you are somebody who works out every single day, or at least most days, right? Most days, or at least you have a regular workout routine, right? You see that your body changes. Now, the upside to physical workouts is that the changes are very obvious, right? So as changes happen, your biceps get bigger, your quads get bigger, et cetera, et cetera. It's very clear, and other people will notice too. The downside to working out physically, right, is you can only do so much of it and the results are only so quick. Now, that is not the same for a mental or, if you want to call it, a spiritual workout, okay? So with a spiritual workout or a mental workout, you're doing something like meditation. The downside is you're not necessarily seeing the progress. You can't really see it. But it is incredibly quick. If you go from someone who isn't meditating whatsoever and then you jump into that sort of a routine, you'll find that your life changes quickly. And this might sound silly, but for anyone who meditates regularly, you're going to know what I'm saying. You notice that when you laugh a little bit harder. You notice that when something happens, you kind of tend slightly more towards optimism than pessimism. There's several things like this that happen. It's the same thing where when something does go wrong, right? When something goes wrong, you're more calm. In general, when you contemplate your life, if you're someone who is if you're someone who's prone to contemplating their life, then you'll find that meditation is an amazing tool for you because it allows you to do so with a little bit more clarity and more calm. And so really, you shouldn't go your first few moments in the day attached to your phone, checking notifications, or even stepping out of your room, frankly, before you've done something 5, 10, 15 minutes to take care of the person that's going to be stepping out of that room. Because if you don't, then every other minute, right, every other minute that you are just walking about the world and chasing your goals and pursuing your relationships, they're not going to be as good as they could have been. And when you add up every single minute that is being increased by the fact that you do a 15-minute routine every morning to help yourself out, you see that your life as a whole is drastically different for the better. So I hope this helped. I hope you've taken one or two messages from this video. This is really just a stream of consciousness, but something that I really felt that you had to hear. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Spencer with Must Become. Always remember that your potential is your obligation, and so what you can become, you must become.